it's very difficult to speak in front of your own teachers, and I, as students you'd agree with me, right? And when your parents are there, it becomes even more difficult. So most of these people seated in the front row mean that to me. I'll try to be brief, but students right at the back, hello. Instagram stays alive 24 hours. I was on it in the last session. And Swati is missing mine, so she doesn't know that I am copying one of her slides. Okay. और लाइट ऑन कर सकते हैं क्या हॉल में, या ये मैक्सिमम लाइट है हॉल की? ओके, तो मेरे ऊपर लाइट थोड़ी कम कर दीजिए ताकि मुझे ऑडियंस दिख जाए. थैंक यू, दिस इज मच बेटर. आप में से कितने लोग टीचर्स हैं, क्लासरूम में जाके पढ़ाते हैं? तो जब आगे वाली सीट खाली रहती है और स्टूडेंट्स पीछे बैठे होते हैं तो आप क्या करते हैं? है ना, वो जो सबसे पीछे बैठे होते हैं उन्हें आप कहते हैं अच्छा आगे आ जाए.
नहीं सर, हम पीछे चले जाते हैं.
हाँ,
हम पीछे चले जाते हैं.
हाँ, या तो आप पीछे से पढ़ाइए तो थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, मगर अब आपके स्टूडेंट्स भी बैठे हैं पीछे, तो हमें रोल मॉडलिंग करनी है ना, अच्छा करेंगे तो वो अच्छा करेंगे. तो आप लोग जो टीचर्स पीछे पीछे बैठे हैं वो आगे आ जाइए, पीछे की सारी रो छोड़ देते हैं. तो बिफोर वी इवन गेट स्टार्टेड, लेट्स कम फॉरवर्ड. ये 5th रो ऑनवर्ड जो लोग पीछे बैठे हैं उनसे बोल रहा हूँ मैं. मतलब 1 2 3 4 5 के पीछे जितने बैठे हैं उन सबको आगे आना है. लास्ट रो में जो बच्चे बैठे हैं उनको भी. बेटा मैथ साइंस का पीरियड तो प्रॉब्लम ऑलरेडी निकल ही गया है वैसे भी. So we've been given 29 minutes 55 seconds और एक्चुअली टाइम परपेचुअलिटी में है क्योंकि चल नहीं रहा है. अच्छा, आप चल गए? हाँ, उल्टा चल रहा है? नहीं, अब तो हाँ, घड़ी उल्टी चल रही है मगर डिजिटल क्लॉक से चल रही है. ये मेटावर्स में है ऑलरेडी. हाँ, तो मेरा अटेम्प्ट इस अगले आधा घंटे में कम बोलने का है, बहुत कम बोलने का. मैं बाय हार्ट टीचर हूँ तो ऐसा मुश्किल हो पाता है, मगर मेरी कोशिश रहेगी कि मैं कम बोलूँ. आई विल कम स्ट्रेट टू द पॉइंट. तो वी आर डिस्कसिंग फ्रॉम वेदा टू मेटावर्स. मेरी बेटी का नाम वेदा है, तो वेद मुझे बड़े प्यारे हैं और मेटावर्स को मैं समझने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Would some of you also say something similar कि ये सुनने में तो बड़ा आ रहा है मगर मतलब nobody is actually realize the gravity of what is upon us. और आप में से इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट कितने लोग हैं? तो इंस्टाग्राम पे रोज एक नई रील आ रही है कि वो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस क्या कर सकती है. हम लोग स्कूल में एक सेशन कर रहे थे टीचर्स के साथ में, and I was trying to share with teachers कि ये AI हमें बड़ा हेल्प कर सकता है. तो as expected the PGT staff room did not really think so. तो वो बिग स्क्रीन पर मैंने प्रॉम्प्ट लिखा, give me lesson plan for chapter 3 of business studies to teach in 40 minutes with critical thinking open-ended questions. और उसने वो NCERT की चैप्टर 3 में से वो लेसन प्लान क्रिएट करना स्टार्ट करा. सो वो तो उधर लेसन प्लान क्रिएट कर रहा है, मैं मैडम को देख रहा हूँ एंड हर एक्सप्रेशन इज, बिकॉज शी टिल नाउ हैज बीन कस्टोडियन ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दैट नॉलेज. शी न्यू दैट शी इज द ओनली पर्सन इन स्कूल हु कुड डू दिस. शी न्यू द प्रिंसिपल कांट डू इट, शी न्यू हर विंग हेड कांट डू इट, शी कैन डू इट. But that being custodian had been lost in that moment. So a lot is changing. I'm not saying let's get our lesson plans done by AI, but I'm saying even that is not purely yours anymore. So can you go to my first slide? 15th slide, that's the first slide. So when I was thinking of this topic, आई रिमेंबर कि ना मैं काफ़ी टाइम से ये सिमिलर थॉट लेके बैठा हूँ, तो तब मैंने पब्लिकली ये पहली बार बोला। तो ये 5 सितंबर 2016 को, एंड ट्विटर से इट इज फ्रॉम अर्थ। ट्विटर स्क्रीन ग्रैब है। ट्विटर says from earth I said this. Teachers technology won't replace teachers, but teachers who use technology effectively will perhaps replace those who don't. This was pre-pandemic, and then pandemic came, and all those teachers who either did not have access to technology or who could not harness technology were now out of the game. Now, fast forward these 2.5, 3 years, some of us have learned things from it, and some of us, like the previous speaker was saying, have gone absolutely back to only offline, and they have in some ways dived back into the cave that they came from. We're all hoping that that is not the reality that we have. But do we even, अगली स्लाइड पर तब जाएगा जब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा। हाँ, अच्छा, मतलब मेरे पास 2 ही स्लाइड है, तो मतलब तीसरी स्वाति की कॉपी कराई है मैंने। Like I said, the plan is not for me to speak on this topic, but get people in the audience to talk about what their aspirations are, what their current fears are, what they think will stay relevant, what they think would perhaps not stay as relevant. Anand and I were having a conversation at lunch, and I had asked Anand, how old were you when you realized that when you were learning tables and you were learning 2 1 the 2, 2 2 the 4, 2 3 the 6, 2 4 the 8, how old were you when you realized that what you were really saying was 2 once is 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6. How old were you when you knew this? I will not be surprised if there are people in this audience who figured this out for the first time right now. That this is what was being said in all of those tables. Did you ever think about it? Huh? Is this the first time you're realizing that this is what you were learning? Yeah? Yes, some of the math teachers haven't figured this out yet, so you're not alone, that's okay. But coming back to the point, from Vedas to metaverse, some will say only the tool is changing, but what is the expected outcome of education remains the same. Some will argue this. And then some others would say, no, actually, information को दिमाग में रखने की तो utility खत्म हो गई. सब कुछ तो चैट जीपीटी पर और गूगल बार्ड पर अवेलेबल है, and now I can even talk to the phone and the phone answers. And this is what we plan to discuss in the 23 minutes and 46 seconds. So the question that I'm presenting in front of everybody will have how many options? What is the single numeral that has been spoken about the most today? 5, right? So 5 has come up as the single most commonly spoken numeral. So I will give you 5 answers, possible answers. Let's go to the second slide. Okay. So सवाल ये है कि इन स्टूडेंट्स को इनके फ्यूचर में रेलेवेंट रखने के लिए ब्रह्मास्त्र क्या है? अगर एक ब्रह्मास्त्र है तो वो क्या है? तो जिज्ञासा तो सब समझते हैं, है ना? You need to be curious to learn anything. My favorite quote is, only the curious have something to find. Right? Only the curious have something to find. ये जो स्मृति है, इसको मुझे लगता है कि NEP ने ओवर सिंप्लीफाई करा है, और ये ना थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कॉन्सेप्ट है, और ये ना हमें पकड़ में आया नहीं, और इसके साथ में 2 1 2 2 4 हो रहा है. You're not really realizing कि ये है क्या. I want to, even before I go to the rest of them, सर इसमें ना नीचे एक और था, ये स्लाइड पूरी नहीं आ रही क्या? इसमें 5 ऑप्शन थे, है ना? दिख रहा है आपकी स्लाइड में 5 दिख रहा है? हाँ. Okay, so while he figures it out, so Smriti के ऊपर I would want some clarity. So give me a raise of hands of people who would want to attempt the meaning of Smriti in 1 minute. People who are seated with seats with white cover on top cannot answer this. तो ये white cover की सीट छोड़ के, हाँ, Richa raised her hand. Richa is the principal for Sanskriti School, Delhi. Richa,
I will make an attempt, Arunabh, and this is my understanding, it is my interpretation. तो वेद को बढ़ाया कैसे गया था, क्योंकि सब तो लर्निंग नहीं थे, सिर्फ ब्राह्मण जी पढ़े लिखे थे. तो वेद को बढ़ाने का तरीका था श्रुति और स्मृति. श्रुति मतलब आप सुनिए और फिर स्मृति आप समझिए, याद कीजिए और उसको आगे बढ़ाइए. So this is how the Vedas were propagated in the times to come. So Smriti actually, I'll take more than a minute.
go.
Okay.
You're on the
So
right track.
Smriti actually is not rote learning, to my understanding. Smriti is actually, like you saying, recall with understanding, but more importantly, Shruti के बाद स्मृति आई तो मैंने सुना, उसके बाद मैंने उसको प्रोसेस किया. और प्रोसेस कैसे किया कि जब हम एग्ज़ाम से एक दिन पहले पढ़ते हैं, जैसे हम सब पढ़ते थे, तो हम अगले दिन वी वॉमिट इट आउट एंड वी फॉरगेट इट द थर्ड डे एंड वी ऑलवेज से दैट 5 बार रिवाइज करो ये फलाना. Because that time the brain is making very short neural connections, and so because it's making very short neural connections, your passive brain is not working, you don't remember it. So Smriti is actually with a wide range of experiences and with more like they saying transdisciplinary kind of exposure to concepts and ideas, is that you get a better understanding through various stimuli. And then your brain is not making one connection, but if anyone remembers the slides that Swati had put, when she went from insight to wisdom, then your brain is making many more neural connections, and your passive brain is also thinking about it. So in your subconscious, your neurons are working, and then you make a much longer neural connection. And when you make a neural connection, you remember it. And to my understanding, that is Smriti. So Smriti is to be your experience and all your sum total of all your stimuli, that understanding and then remembering.
Question 1.b. स्मृति और रोट लर्निंग में कोई कोरिलेशन है?
मुझे लगता है रोट लर्निंग एक स्मॉल लेट्स से बिगिनिंग टूल है, और कुछ मैंने रट लिया बिना समझे, और फिर ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम शायद मैंने उसको यूज़ करके समझा और फिर मैं आगे बढ़ी. बट I don't think I think we can still have Smriti without rote learning.
Anybody wants to say
Thank
something?
you.
You need to let go of your white chairs. You need to go to the third row. Third row, ठीक है? So third row onwards सवाल था. Only third row onwards. I'll come back to you if they give me extra time after 5 minutes. I have been given a clear mandate. Okay.
So can I try?
So sorry. Okay. हाथ भी ऐसे. Okay. Right. Okay. There are 2 more responses coming for this. 1 minute each because मेरा सवाल पूरा नहीं हुआ
Less
अभी.
than a minute, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Experience with feeling.
Experience with
Smriti.
feelings. Okay. Would also go into Smriti. Okay. Yes.
Third row, I think I qualified to answer.
Yes. Go ahead.
Right, sir. So as I understand it, Smriti is basically the quotient that remains with us. If effort is the divisor, subject is the dividend, quotient is what left with us, which is Smriti, and this remains with us only if we have understood it. Because if we are not understanding it, then our senses are not connected to it. And if there is no connection between the understanding and what we are seeing, or say reading it out for the sake of rote learning also, the memory remains very, very short. I mean, retention is very poor.
Perhaps only till the end of that exam.
Yes.
तो लता के कितने रूप थे और बालक के कितने रूप थे?
Yes.
मुझे तो कभी भी नहीं याद हुए, मगर कुछ को जिनको याद हो गए उनके संस्कृत में 100 नंबर आया, उसको तो भूल गए.
Yes.
Because किसी को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि वो क्या है. Right. Okay. So sorry.
There is another gentleman here who wants to
क्या
ask.
बात है? Lovely. Anand wants to have the last laugh on this. Anand, your minute. Go ahead.
No, I'd like to connect it back to what you started with, the oversimplification thing, right? I think in our rush to have these one-word things within a bracket and then make a mnemonic out of it and all of that stuff.
Like this.
Yeah. I think there is this need to make Smriti fall into one word. It isn't. It is essentially that Shruti is basically the means. You've heard it. That was your means then of acquiring. And Smriti was the way of how you process it, understand it, and carry it with you. That is what I think. So it's not even necessarily about recall. It's like about an incident. You and I, let's say, had a fight. You remember it differently. I remember it. I'm going to be Smriti alert.
और श्रुति और स्मृति की बात हो रही है, श्रुति सिर्फ सुनने की बात कर रहे हैं, मगर हमारे पास 5 सेंस ऑर्गन्स हैं, तो बाकी 4 सेंस ऑर्गन से भी जो मेरे पास में डेटा आ रहा है मेरे दिमाग को, अगर मैं उसे करेक्टली प्रोसेस करके एनालाइज करके एक लॉन्ग टर्म न्यूरल कनेक्शन बना रहा हूँ, तो वो प्रोबेबली स्मृति के ट्रू मीनिंग के हम आसपास हैं. सो दैट्स सेकेंड. प्रतिभास रिफ्लेक्शन. This professor of mine in my master's said you can make the same mistakes for 2 years, 3 years, 20 years, or make that mistake once, reflect on it, and then be wiser the next day. So reflection, bodhi, awakening, or pragya, wisdom. Wisdom हम समझ रहे हैं. कौन wisdom attempt करेगा? Student specific question हो गया. जिन्होंने 12वीं कक्षा नहीं करी अभी वो बताएंगे wisdom क्या होती है. हाँ बताओ. Give it a go. इसके नंबर थोड़ी मिलने वाले हैं. ये विजडम या प्रज्ञा ये क्या होता है?
So, talking about wisdom, then I think that it's your ability to take decisions about you're able to make your own decisions and not like.
Okay, thank you for that response. What's your name?
Anya.
Anya, can we have a round of applause for Anya? Right, she's got her entire school leadership here and she's attempted a question. Great. Anybody else wants to have one?
So I believe that wisdom means whatever we learn with our life experiences. So like taking a decision or like deciding what is more important, taking which competition you have to take, everything about it takes you wisdom.
Okay, so what do you do with your knowledge? That is your wisdom, right? So if you understand computer hacking, then do you become a hacker or do you join the people who make internet a safer place? So that has to be your wisdom.
So I believe that it depends on the person's mindset, but to me wisdom would mean joining the people who will make internet a safer place.
Right. So that's your wisdom, right? That's what you want to do with your knowledge. What's your name?
Ashi.
Ashi. Right. I promise you the boys of this school also talk. We'll go to them. And then I'll come to you in a bit as well. Right. So now that we put the question in place. Now teachers, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप बोलें कि ये पांचों के पांचों में से कुछ नहीं चाहिए, अब आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आ गया है, ये तो अब इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. Is there anybody in the room who says इसमें से किसी की जरूरत नहीं है बच्चे को सिखाने के लिए? Nobody, right? Okay. But if you were to say rank them and say to me as a teacher, इन 5 में से सबसे important ये part है. So that's the first part of your answer. We need a roving mic for this. So that's the first part of your answer कि मेरे हिसाब से सबसे important ये है. और second part of the answer is कि ये important क्यों है. Right? So the what and why. That's what we are attempting to answer here. Now students have led from example, and I'm sure that teachers will follow their examples and raise their hand. The first one is most difficult. Most courage is needed in the first response, and then it gets easier. Okay, there are 2 hands that have gone. Okay, in the order that you've spoken. You might, if you want to, you can introduce yourself. If you don't want to, then that's fine as well.
Okay, Jai Hind sir, I'm Sonal. I'm coming from Sangin Annapurna. So I believe curiosity is the most important amongst you all. Like, of course, all are important. And the reason for the same being, unless you are curious to know a certain thing, why would you go to even a tool like AI to find a particular thing? So yeah, curiosity is the answer for me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Let's hear it from ma'am. Okay. Were you discussing the answer and she gave the answer to the class? Because that happened a lot with me in school.
Good afternoon, I'm Baby Sabha from Vardhaman Public School, Mirzapur. She is saying प्रॉपर आंसर, बिकॉज जिज्ञासा क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं होगी मीन्स कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता फिर। मुझे जानने की इच्छा ही नहीं पैदा है जब मुझे कोई भी सिखाए, मुझे मोटिवेशन, इंटरनल मोटिवेशन ही नहीं मिलेगा। दैट्स व्हाई आई थिंक कि जिज्ञासा इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट।
तो हमें जिज्ञासा सिखाने की ज़रूरत अब भी है।
जी जी बिल्कुल।
और ये जो टूल्स हमें, चलो जिज्ञासा पर थोड़ा सा और डेवलप कर लेते हैं।
थैंक यू
तो
सर।
जो थैंक यू मैम। तो जो टूल्स हमें अब अवेलेबल हो रहे हैं, और आप ऐसा, आपको कुछ टूल्स पता होंगे, मुझे कुछ पता होंगे, सारे किसी को नहीं पता। तो ऐसे कुछ टूल्स या जिससे कि हम क्यूरियोसिटी बढ़ा सकते हैं। 10 मिनट रिमेनिंग? नहीं भैया, 11:30 मिनट है। राइट, सो एनी टूल दैट एनीबॉडी कैन थिंक ऑफ राइट नाउ जिससे कि मैं क्यूरियोसिटी इंप्रूव कर सकता हूँ? हाँ? गलत रो में बैठी हो आप तो एक्सेप्शन ले लेते हैं। मैम आ गया मेरे को रो से आंसर, प्लीज आंसर।
A very good afternoon to all, and I'm honored, and it's my pleasure to be here. I'm gathering lots of knowledge, and as per my opinion, the root source of Panchakosha, that is curiosity, and the tool of curiosity is a real life. We can take inspiration or instance from our real life and the problem. When the problem comes, curiosity automatically generalized, and we are getting some stuck ourselves some kind of problem. When the problem occurs, we used to be there to uprooting the root cause and its resolution as a form of solution, that is Smriti, Pratibhas, Bodhi and Pragya. All are the vice versa.
मुझे 1 2 3 4 5 भी लिखना चाहिए था इनके साथ में। ये मेरा फीडबैक है to myself. Thank you for that feedback, ma'am. I now ask gentlemen seated in this room. Okay, I ask all men seated in this room. हमें कम बोलने को मिलता है स्कूल्स में, हम माइनॉरिटी में हैं। मतलब जहाँ मैं काम करता हूँ 10% पुरुष नहीं है, तो मैं आपको मौका दे रहा हूँ बोलने का। जी, so
for me, I would say the most important thing in these 5 points would be awakening.
Okay.
Awakening, unless you're awakened, unless you know, in fact, she spoke about childhood and development from childhood and the development of the brain. तो जब आपको awakening नहीं होगी नहीं, तो curiosity कहाँ से आएगी और recall कहाँ से करेंगे, reflect कहाँ से करेंगे, wisdom तो बाद में आएगी।
In agreement. And before this side of the front two rows says कि मैंने इनको क्यों बोलने का मौका दिया, तो आप अगर बचपन में कभी क्रिकेट खेले हो, तो जो बैट लाता था उसे 2 बैटिंग मिलती थी। So that is that. But moving on. So okay, agreed. We say awakening my want to learn, and that's perhaps not just the teacher but the family getting involved in it as well. Ma'am, I will now go to a man, and if no man actually raises his hand, I will give this mic to a man. So for other men in this room, please raise your hand if you know of a tool. सर ने हाथ उठाया था, आपने हाथ उठाया था या क्या मुँह खुल जा रहा था? वहाँ सर ने हाथ उठाया था हमको माइक पर। सर के बोलने से पहले सर को तालियां ले लेते हैं एक बार for the courage. Please go ahead, sir.
Me, Amit Rai from Sunbeam Mirzapur. Actually, awakening is the first, because curiosity is a default program in the human being.
Okay.
It is already there. In everyone there is a curiosity for different thing. It may be somebody for the economics, there is a curiosity for economics, curiosity for physics, curiosity for sociology, but awakening is the most important, the first thing in this Brahmastra.
And do you know of a tool, do you know of a strategy that we can use to awaken the children in our classroom?
I'm not so used to all these things, how to awaken the students.
Okay. Thank you for bringing the topic amongst us. Please take a seat, sir. Sir wants to have a go at it.
So as I believe, curiosity and awakening, we have been debating about it, which one is more important. So far as my understanding goes, I would give curiosity still the number one. Reason being, even now when we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Bard, and many more to come, what are we looking for into these apps? Solutions. Solutions of what? Questions. Questions originate from where? Once we are curious. So why am I stressing on this point? Because today's students, when we are in the classrooms, when we give them a question or a problem, they immediately try to get a solution from a ready-made structure, say called a ChatGPT or something like that. But the ability to infuse the skill to think and then probably infer some kind of a solution as per the ability of the student himself or herself is, I believe, a natural tool which is already existing in every student and every teacher, which should not die out, which must not be allowed to die out. And if you work more and more on this tool, particular tool, then probably teaching will never go unnoticed, and the need for a teacher will never be replaced by an artificial intelligence app.
So, okay, if you know what I understood from what you were saying was कि भाई हम बहुत टाइम से आंसर खेल रहे हैं, but now आंसर के तो बहुत सारे टूल आ गए हैं, तो मे बी वी शिफ्ट आवर फोकस इनसे बेटर सवाल की तरफ चलते हैं बच्चे को लेकर. ये बेटर सवाल अगर सोचेगा तो इसे जवाब तो बहुत सारी जगह से मिल जाएंगे.
प्रश्न पूछने का जो कौशल है
जी,
सोचने की जो एक कला है.
सर थर्ड रो में जाना पड़ेगा. ऐसे नहीं होगा, ऐसे नहीं होगा. But let me complete that thought and then I'll come back to you. देखो, मैं फोर्थ रो में बैठ के देख रहा था तब से अब तक. ये पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है कि पहले दो रो के लोगों को लग रहा है कि डिसएडवांटेज है ये फर्स्ट टू रोज में बैठा हूँ.
और मेरे साथ वाली सीट बड़ी सॉर्ट आफ्टर हो गई है.
But so let me complete this and I'll come to you, I promise. When ma'am was speaking earlier, she had talked about the journey to become human. And as I heard her, I also realized actually there is also perpetually there has been a journey of becoming transhuman. Always doing much more than what the human body and mind was capable of doing. तो जब हमने व्हील का इजाद करा और हम ज़्यादा तेज चलने लगे और फिर हमने बुलेट मोटरसाइकिल पर आ गए, सो देन वी बिकेम द फास्टेस्ट ऑन अर्थ. जब तक हमारी मशीन्स को और हमारे टूल्स को नहीं यूज कर रहे थे, वी वांट द फास्टेस्ट और द माइटिएस्ट. बट नाउ वी आर फॉर देयर हैज बीन दिस कॉन्टिन्यूस परसूट ऑफ बीइंग ट्रांसह्यूमन, एंड दीज एआई टूल्स और दीज रोबोट्स or humans with like transformers, all of this is an attempt of doing much more. So we shouldn't really be threatened with AI and all of these or metaverse. The attempt is how do we find ourselves that place कि ये जो हम बच्चे को सिखा रहे हैं, ये जब कॉलेज पहुंच रहा है या उससे आगे जा रहा है, कॉलेज जा रहा है नहीं जा रहा है, is questionable in 3, 4, 5 years time. What is it that is happening in our classroom? Sir has sacrificed his reserved business class seat to come and sit in economy. Sir, you deserve a chance to speak. Please go ahead. You wanted to add? I thought.
No, I think I have finished. I just wanted to, probably Ashok sir has realized it somehow. Thank you, sir. Reflection, pratibhas. When the problem that we teachers face today is when we go inside a classroom with a set subject domain to deliver, and the moment the subject is delivered, the reflection immediately starts happening in the mind of the child. The child has got some preconceived knowledge about it, and the child has got an inundation of information flowing all around the universe. which the child is unable to actually filter and arrive at a conclusion that okay, this is the one which is the correct. Probably there is nothing called correct these days. Everything is available there, and it's up to you how you connect with it.
And the correct is changing every day.
Correct is changing every day. So the problem that we face in the conflict of this curiosity and awakening and reflection, the reflection is taking over the place of curiosity. Students are no more curious. They always try to see whether this information being delivered by the teacher is correct, is relevant, is updated, is latest or not.
Couldn't agree more, sir. I want to give a moment to sir, and I've got a minute and 30 seconds left, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So, in order to even become curious when we are looking at the tools, just like human nature, when we have the observation, it is the observation which will put questions in your mind. So, can we create diversified observational experiences? And that is what will definitely lead. Of course, you may not ask questions for everything, but what interests you, you will become curious, more curious about them, and that is what will lead to knowing about them. So giving them the observation and the opportunity to experience is what will enhance curiosity.
Are you saying teaching observation is also required?
Yes.
Like teaching observation as a skill is also required. Sir, I want to use the last minute. मैंने ना आपको एक लिंक भेजा है. आपके कंप्यूटर पे इंटरनेट एक्सेस है क्या? यहाँ से आप इंटरनेट पे जा सकते हो. तो उस लिंक को खोल देंगे. स्वाति की स्लाइड में सेकंड क्वेश्चन में यूज करने वाला था, अगर तो हम यहाँ से आगे पहुँच पाते. But I don't think we even scratched the surface of this question in this last half an hour. But I'm happy to know that there is this realization that this will stay relevant. The content in our book may only stay relevant for the exam that the child has to clear, which is also important. Because unfortunately, अगर वो अच्छे कॉलेज में नहीं जा रहा है तो उसे टेबल पे सीट नहीं मिल रही है. So that content in the book is still as required, but these are skills that the child needs, or ways of thinking that this child needs, and not just children. Let us not take ourselves away from it. We need these if we need to be relevant 2 years from now. While technology will not replace teachers, but teachers who use technology efficiently will replace those who don't. मैं बता देता हूँ आपको, आप उसे टाइप कर दो. AI for education, so AI for FOR, education, education.io. Okay, and let's show that. Okay, और इसमें ना educator resources second tab है, so go to that. क्लिक करिए, पहुंच जाएगा. हाँ, ये सीधे एजुकेटर रिसोर्सेज नहीं क्लिक हो रहा है. प्रॉम्प्ट लाइब्रेरी पे चले जाते हैं. So this website has done this curation of all sorts of tools available for teachers, and most of these are free. So let us use technology to improve ourselves, that humans' journey of becoming a transhuman, being more powerful, being more reflective. So और नीचे जाके दिखाइए. So PBL lesson plans are a big problem for people. Project based lesson plans बनाना, execute करना तो मुश्किल होता है, बनाना भी मुश्किल होता है. तो और नीचे चले जाएं सर. तो इन्होंने ना different tools को यहाँ पर stack कर रखा है. So from instead of going on the internet and finding tools, this can be a easy resource. But the only thing I want to leave you with, agree that you're not showing me the time now, but it's over. To stay relevant for our students and for us as teachers, it is imperative that we keep questioning ourselves. And a special message to all the mathematics teachers. हाथ खड़ा करें कौन कौन मैथ्स टीचर हैं. मुझे इतनी अच्छी मैथ्स की टीचर मिली थी कि वो हर बार जब क्लास में नंबर बताती थी बच्चों को तो सबके अनाउंस करती थी. आपको भी कोई ऐसे टीचर मिले हैं, है ना? हाँ? वो मैथ्स के नंबर अनाउंस करना बंद कर दीजिए. It is a contract between you and me. And Anand said a very good thing. अगर अनाउंस करना ही है तो ये अनाउंस करिए. You and I together got 44 today. It is not just you who got a 13. So let's stay curious and stay hungry. There is a lot to learn for all of us, our students and our teachers all together. And you remember, I just gave you the maths example. So abhi kya hoga? Abhi they will come and ask me to write something, and whatever I will write, they will announce it. It is between me and you. It's such pressure. You know, if I had to be critical of you, I can't be because you're going to announce it. But thank you very much, Cindy, and thank you very, very much, NPSC, for allowing me to speak. And I apologize for not allowing the NPSC leadership to speak. But मेरे को clear mandate था, मैं सिर्फ अपना mandate पूरा कर रहा हूँ. तो अगर परेशानी होनी है तो वो अमृता से होनी है आपको. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying over.